It's me again, Teacher Annie. In your last video, you actually learned how to structure a lesson plan, right? This time, I'm going to share to you some phrases that you could use when you're going to implement your lesson.
Let's start with the engaging part of your lesson plan, which is greetings. Actually, there are many ways on how to greet your students. Am I right? Well, here are some examples. You may say, "Good morning, class." You may also say, "Hello, everyone. How are you feeling today? I hope you are all feeling fit today. How's life?" On the last part, it's actually an informal language, but it's okay to use it, but you have to minimize, all right? The next one is attendance checking. Of course, you have to check your students if they are already around. You may ask, "Who's absent today?" You may also ask, "Is anybody absent?" You may also ask, "What's the matter with John today?" Especially if the student was absent the other day. If the student is late, you may ask, "Why are you late?" It's also good to say, "Try to be here on time next time." After that, of course, you have to check their homework if you gave the other day. You may say, "Who has not done the homework?" You may also say, "Put up your hand if you haven't handed in your homework." Another, "Who didn't hand in the homework to the homework collector this morning?" In this part, it's the case wherein you're going to ask one of your students to be a homework collector. And of course, you may also ask, "How was your homework?" This is also good to ask so that you will know how did they find the homework. Was it easy? Was it difficult? This is important for you to know how to adjust the level of difficulty of the homeworks you are giving. Now, let's move on to the study part of your lesson plan. Of course, we're going to ask our students to use their textbook, right? So here are some phrases that we can use. Open your textbook to page 43. Please look at the left-hand column, second paragraph, line 5. Now, here's the thing. You need to be very careful in giving series of instruction to your students to avoid confusion. Simply, you may say, "Turn to page 43." Or you may also say, "Last lesson we talked about." Now, during the lesson, there are some behavioral problems that you're going to encounter, so you should be prepared. Now, here are some phrases that you can use in handling irregular behavior. You may say, "Eyes to the front." "Keep quiet." "Pay attention." "Sit up straight." "Don't disturb your neighbor." If you listen as much as you talked, then you'll be brilliant. And of course, behave yourself. These are actually general phrases. It depends on what specific behavioral problem you are going to encounter if you're going to teach in a real class setting. All right? Now, let's move to the activate part of your lesson plan. What are you going to say if you're going to ask your students to group themselves? Now, here are some phrases that you can use in organizing group work. You may say, "Now, let's get into pairs." Or, "Now, let's get into group of 5. You may also say, "Please work with the person next to you." "Who has not yet joined a group?" And, "Please include blank in your group." How about if you're going to give an activity? Let's check these phrases. Listen carefully. And of course, it's good if you're going to clarify if they understood your instruction. So you ask, "Do you understand?" You may also say, "That's not what I mean." If the student misunderstood, you may say this phrase, And you can say, "Let me say it again." After that, always clarify if they understood you. So you can ask, "Do you have any questions?" Of course, we also want our students to answer questions and to ask questions during the lesson, right? So here are some phrases that you can use to encourage your student to answer and ask questions. The first one, raise your hand if you have any questions. Who knows the answer? How about you, John? And any volunteer? If you're going to administer classwork, you may say these phrases. Please complete this part in 5 minutes. It's very important to be specific. Please come and write on the board. Say the words properly, or make sure you are following instructions. After giving classwork, of course, you're going to check their papers, right? But there are some cases wherein you will let your student check their seatmates' work. So, here are some cross-check instructions. You may say, please swap your books to your seatmate. Use a red pen to check the answers. If the answer is incorrect, write down the correct answer. Or, give 2 points for each correct answer. After checking, of course, you need to collect the papers. Here are some phrases that you can use in collecting papers from your students. Please pass the papers in front. You don't need to talk and stand when you pass the papers. And lastly, please hand me the papers quietly. Of course, in asking these phrases, you need to be polite, so it's also good to use the word please. Now, let's move on to the closure part. The first part is giving homework. Alright, let's start. Homework for today is hand in your homework first thing in the morning. Please copy your homework. You say this one if you're going to write the instruction or their homework on the board. And of course, clarification. Any questions regarding your homework? Alright. Now, how are you going to end your lesson? Now, here are some phrases. You may say, "Goodbye, class." You may also say, "That's it for today." And lastly, you may say, "Let's call it a day." And you may also say, "Enjoy your weekend." And I'll see you tomorrow.
Make sure to say the proper and appropriate phrases or sentences for you to avoid confusion and, of course, to avoid misunderstanding between you and your students. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you here in the Philippines soon. Bye!